check. Check, check. Can you hear me? How about now? Check, check. Can you hear me?
Sounds good.
There we go. There we go, people. Welcome to the call. Happy to have you. So today we got some interesting stuff. Check, check. Okay, good. Robert, how you doing, man? I can't hear you. Maybe it's just me. Hold on, let me get my speakers right. Nope, I can hear. Okay, I can hear someone else. What's up, Robert? How are you?
Doing pretty well. Found out.
There you go. Hey, Ian, how are you? Ramon,
You're
what's up?
pretty good.
Al, Will.
What's up,
Andrew?
guys?
How's it going?
What's up, guys?
Hey, John, Derek, Earl, what's up? Joey,
Good.
Mike, how are you? Brian? Good, what's up? What's up? What's up? Well, welcome to the call. Happy y'all are here. Okay, so, hey, Larry, how you doing? I'm gonna give people a few minutes to jump in. And then as I do that, hey, Shen, how are you? I'm actually gonna post this in the Facebook group real quick that we are meeting. So I'm gonna do that as I kind of talk. Does everyone want to kind of share where you're from? That'd be nice to do a quick intro on the call. Anybody can go.
Woodbury, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Cool.
San
Someone else.
San Diego, California.
What's that, man? How are you?
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Great.
Almuna is Queens, New York.
Queens. Anybody else want to go?
Oh, well, it was New Orleans. I just relocated to Orange County, 2 miles from the beach.
Great, great. Orange
Oklahoma
County,
City.
Oklahoma City. Cool.
Yeah, you got Dual City Earl here with Las Vegas and Tucson. Oh,
Right.
and Cali.
I'm in Mexico, in Cancun.
Nice. I wonder how hot is it there? Because I'm in Houston, it's hot. I wonder how hot it is in Cancun right now.
Yeah, it's hot. I don't know how hot it is, but yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Anybody else want to share? No? Cool. We're good. Oh, we got some chats. Oh, that's Derek and Al. All right, cool. So welcome to the call. So the structure of this call is very simple. I try to keep it simple. Basically, if you have anything you're working on, whether it's a business idea, or it's a client that's at a certain place in the pipeline, or it's a fulfillment question about, what you're working on, or just, an idea of like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this direction or this niche. What do you think? Or if you're looking to scale in a certain way, how would you do it? I would love to try to help where I can. Obviously I don't have all the answers, but what's cool in community is that we do actually have interesting, unique insights that we can all kind of bring to the table. Sometimes they're great ideas and we try them out. Every once in a while, not so much. So the idea of the community call is really just to help each other, and see where we can help and see where we can help. And like, if there's any sticking points, let's get over them. Or if they're just made up in our minds, right? Because oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we prioritize or we think about things in a certain way, and maybe it could be better or different. So that's why I like to have these calls at least once a week. Okay, cool. So who wants to go first? What are you working on now? And then how can we help each other, or how can I help you? Be brave.
I guess I had a couple questions.
Hi, Mike.
I bought into your platform here several years ago, back when you first released. And I'm not really marketing it as, it's more of a tool for me than it is me trying to do virtual tours. But I have used it for construction inspection and a variety of other applications. And I was wondering if there was a possibility. I've had requests for higher res photos, something shot off Nodal Ninja or something that's a larger format than what you're able to take in right now as far as size. I was hoping maybe one day that would be that restriction would maybe be removed, and also the ability to maybe do a 360 video uploads to your site where we can actually do that. I've got several 360 cameras, and that construction industry where you're doing stuff for progress, or like next couple of weeks, I'm going into a sanitary pre-construction project where they're doing a bunch of piping, and I'll be taking my cameras in to do inspection of that. So I think there's other opportunities there. I've talked to you this about off and on over the last year or two. I don't know if you remember that, but I was wondering if we're coming any further along with some of those things beyond just the virtual tour piece.
Yeah, so you can upload 360 video.
You can now?
That's already a feature. It's been
Okay.
around for a long time. Now there's a file size limit, so you can't just do like minutes upon minutes. But if you do want to increase that, we can do it individually for your account. If you have like an enterprise need, typically it's like an enterprise type request.
Right.
So you just say, hey, I need to do a 10-minute video. Cool. It's going to cost this much. That's pretty much how it works.
Do you know what the limits are currently for the time?
We try to keep everything below 100 megs for file uploads. I think
Okay.
80 or 70, something like that. So you'll know whenever it doesn't upload. So we just don't take it. But we have plenty of high-res photos that come through all the time, so that shouldn't be an issue at all. A lot, especially from drones, feels like the drones have the really high-resolution shots.
So it's above the 50 megapixel mark now to be able to upload.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number. I can't remember, but you have to also remember the viewer, the person who views that, has to download and render that file. So if they have bad connection, or if they have older computer or whatever, like they're gonna be waiting for a while. So there's also usability like trade-off. So be careful when folks say, I want a super high res. So do they really want high res? Like, or they want something that just looks a little bit different? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's definitely, we see high res stuff all the time. That resolution and file size are not always together all the time. Sometimes you can have a great high res photo that looks beautiful as an optimal file size as well too. And so I'll just be careful, like assuming we have to have a higher file size, have better resolution. That's not always true. If that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool, no problem. Good to hear. Pipe inspection sounds cool. Awesome. Go ahead, Chin. I see little hands up, orange hand. That's a
Yeah,
good way to
thank
talk.
you. I'm going
Go
to
ahead.
turn on my camera also.
Sure.
So I'll give you a little bit of context. I have sold some virtual tours. The problem is I have a full-time job right now, and I also study. So I haven't
Mhm.
finished college, but I have sold a couple, like 5-6 virtual tours, mostly to co-working spaces and gyms.
Nice.
But my thing now is I don't know how to keep on going this business. If I should like maybe hire some salespeople, or how can I scale in the
Mhm.
way that I like me not wasting so much time and keeping the business running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a great question. I mean, it's a common one, right? And everyone has this question. It's like, how do I scale faster with a great operation? So there's a lot of ways to answer it. I would look at it in long-term layers more than just like, how do I grow faster? At first, if your sales volume or lead volume is not that high, then it doesn't justify necessarily hiring people, right? That's kind of silly. Like you think, oh, well, I just need to hire people and they'll take care of it. That's not always true. You need to figure out your repeatable, predictable business model and the price points you're gonna be doing as well, so that you can hand it off to a person that will ultimately sell it, or you just take online ordering, and then you don't even need a salesperson at that point, right? Or you have to. There's basically two ways to grow your business. You maybe three or four, but two that I see is inbound prospecting and there's outbound. So inbound is like advertising, media buys, PPC buys, stuff like that. and those can be very effective, especially very passive. Like it's very nice when someone comes to your site, likes what you're doing, and they already have intent and they want to buy, and there's have a couple questions, and they put their information in the lead form, sign up on your calendar, and then boom, you have like someone on your calendar who wants to talk more. Like that's a great thing because it's an inbound, like they're warmed up, they're deep down the funnel, right? So that's inbound. That's inbound at its simplest form when it comes to a call or higher ticket type stuff. Outbound prospecting wise, I'm going to go ahead and mute this one guy real quick. There we go. Sometimes when you go to mute somebody and they already mute themselves, then it says ask to unmute, and I click anyways. It's kind of funny. Same place. Yeah. So when it comes to outbound prospecting, it's something we're always doing all the time. So we do both at CloudPano, right? We have inbound media buys. We do a lot of it. Different types of stuff we try. I'm going to go ahead and mute you, Oleg. And then we also have outbound prospecting. We do a ton of it. So how do you officially? So how do you officially do prospecting in a way that can not have you in it every day, right? Because when you first start off, you send a couple emails, hope they respond. Oh, they didn't respond. Okay, I'll shoot them a call. Like it's a very slow way, right? Well, outbound prospecting is actually a numbers game. So I'll tell this to Robert as a CloudPano employee earlier. I said, Robert, it's a numbers game, but you got to leverage yourself the fast you can, because there's a great book called The Ultimate Sales Machine. And early on in that book, he talks about how in a market, in a niche, okay, there is, let's say there's 1,000 people in this niche. It's a good round number, is 1,000. Okay. 50% do not want to buy from you. They don't know who you are. They don't want to buy from you. They don't even see a need. Maybe half of them understand what it is. They have a little bit of awareness. Okay. I'm saying, well, half of them at least have some awareness. Probably 20% are considering it, right? 8% are like probably looking to buy with pretty soon in this thing. And 3% are like wanting to buy now. Okay. So when you look at a market, you think about it that way, and that generalization is very true. And I have poked at a lot of niches, bro. Okay. I have just done so crazy much. I can pull up our CRM. It's like hundreds of thousands of emails we're sending, thousands of phone calls we're out there doing. Like the data just seems to always shift and shake out the same. And there's of course ways to increase that and to multiply that, of course. But when it comes to outbound prospecting, it's a numbers game. So you got to get good at database management. Do you have every co-working space in Mexico? Are you in Mexico, right? You said Cancun? Yeah. Is every co-working space on a list? And from those domains, do you have all their emails? And from those emails, do you have 4 emails written that will automatically send to all of them? And then if they reply, the email campaign stops, right? So you're not just sending the same silly thing. If they reply with interest, so can you write an email campaign to co-working spaces that's saying, hey, I'm literally going to every co-working space in Mexico and I'm making a virtual tour, and here's what it looks like. Here's the benefits. Here's how I can help you. But really right now, I'm just trying to build a relationship. I would love to be able to shoot a photo for free to show you what it looks like. But here's how I can guarantee that with a virtual tour, you're going to fill up all those listings, make more money, and crush it this next year. But I'm just looking for like a 5-second phone call where I can show kind of what we're doing and then why the utility works so well. Would you be interested in just give me a quick reply? I really appreciate it. So now, like your objective of that email campaign with the 4 follows, because by the way, nobody responds to the first email. Never, ever, ever. If they do, it's because they're that 3% and you found them somehow in that 1,000, you got lucky. But don't go off that data. Go off the realistic data. Be realistic, bro. I'm here to speak the freaking truth to you. You need to have 4 touch points for 1,000 leads, and maybe you pull out 3 emails from every single 1,000 lead, and that is 3,000 people that you need to have. That's 8 to 10,000 touch points. You got to be able to produce to get your pipeline full from an outbound prospecting standpoint. I'm just talking about outbound prospecting right now, but it's super cheap to do. I mean, can you send emails, right? Now, don't get cheap when it comes to certain email campaigns, right? You got to really be able to prospect emails that are at a high level. You got to really know how to use proper software, right? Be really good about that kind of stuff. And when you do that, you're able to talk to a lot of people And all the folks that are not interested, it's totally fine. But the folks that are, it's like you can truly like you can really crush it because you're producing the numbers you need to produce. Now there's some high level stuff like kind of, I don't want to say hacks, but when it comes to email deliverability is really important. You need to have like, if you can look up in Google like SBF, DKIM, like deliverability stuff is really important. Cold email software is good. Like that only sends emails like until they respond. You don't want to hire salespeople, I don't think personally, until you have this kind of figured out. So I did an interview. I'm going to post it soon. It's like going to come soon. I'm launching a podcast. It's going to be super awesome. And I have an interview that's kind of kicking it off with. And it's a guy who I mentioned before in a previous call who does $50K a month in his Houston market, because he's local nearby, for just real estate photography. Well, his business model is really refined and figured out. He knows his low ticket offer. He knows his middle ticket offer. He knows his highest ticket offer. So he's got this really figured out for what? For one niche, for the residential real estate photography niche. Well, pick your niche. Is it co-working spaces? Cool. Here's what I do. Here's how it works. And figure out the rinse and repeat. So he didn't hire an admin until he had too much work, too many referrals, too much going on. He's in pain. Okay, he hires an admin. He hires editor, then he hires an admin. And then he hires more. Now he's like, okay, well, now I want to go after new markets. I'm going to get a photographer first, and then I'm going to go like do some sales into that specific market or whatever, because he hasn't figured it out, right? So you got to figure out that market first. And when you do that, really like try to, I'm telling you, if you interview the customer, I know I'm ranting a long time here, but you interview the customer, that's how you're going to figure out how you really scale. So the stuff that nobody really does, I think we should all do and take really, really serious. Like, I don't know how it takes any more serious. It's like the most serious thing I ever say ever is to interview your customers, interview your niche, talk to them, have a normal conversation. I swear every time I've done this, I've always been like, oh snap. Like, I don't know what your world is. I thought I did. I was wrong in this way. I was wrong. This way I was wrong. I was wrong in so many ways. Like maybe that person, for maybe the co-working space niche works a certain way that you just didn't expect. And when you go interview them and find that out, you'll have the language, but you'll understand how it works. You'll understand what their goals are. Like oftentimes you send an email to an admin in the co-working space, and they don't actually care. They're just collecting a check, but maybe it's the VPs or the owners of that 5 locations that like, that's the guy you need to talk to directly. I need to call the owner. Calling the admin is a waste of my time. But you wouldn't know that if you don't interview these people, talk to them. So you got to kind of like do the hard stuff first, really load up the hard stuff first so you can get clarity. That's how you do good. So good prospecting, when someone prospects me, they know what I'm looking for before they even email me, because they really know my niche well, right? So when I get an email from people that prospect me, that I get all the time, that are kind of general or not as, they don't really care about me that much, or just kind of just blasting it out, I can just tell. I can read it in the email campaigns, right? So you got to really speak their language. You got to really, I mean, I know it sounds cliche and all that, but that's the work no one's willing to do. Most people aren't willing to show up in person, knock on the door and say, hey, here's what I'm doing. Help me figure out how to do this. Like, you know, ask the prospect, what do you think? Is this a good idea? Is this a terrible idea? What do you think? Tell me the truth. Because I don't really want to know. I don't want to know nicely. I want to know the truth, you know? So,
I mean, I have done some, actually this weekend, I'm going to do some interviews for clients that I've had. And my way to scale was, I'm going to do a landing page, and I do have the landing page already. And I'm going to put like a testimonial with what my clients are saying. And yeah, that's the way I'm thinking about right now. But yes, definitely when I started doing the co-working spaces, or I did the gym, I started with gyms, right? And I realized that calling the gyms wasn't really going to work because the owner was never there. And they were like 40 to 50-year-old guys that really had no idea about technology. So they were like, oh no, I don't even want to hear about this. I don't want to do this. I don't know. And it was very stressful. So then I moved to co-working spaces. And like, let's say 30, 40-year-olds who understand the value of people going to their business without going physically. And so, yeah, I really agree with interviewing the customers. And one thing that I have been having a lot of trouble with is when I do the sales calls, because I've been doing all of the sales I've been doing has been outbound calls. And so the user right now, oh, with this virtual tour, we're going to be able to book every listing or book every space you have in your co-working space, right? How can I always have this, like, I don't want to say like moral dilemma, but how can I assure them that without really knowing if it's going to work for them or not?
Yeah, so you can just be honest and tell them, listen, our big promise is that we fill up every co-working space to the max. So you guys make a ton of, you have a ton of tenants. That's our big promise. Now, does it happen every time? No, of course not. But you know what? Our big promise is that it will. And that's what my goal is. And I'm going to freaking crawl and dig until it happens. How's that sound? They're like, oh, that's pretty, I like, okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to like placing a hard guarantee on something you can't guarantee is kind of silly, right? That doesn't make sense. But you can do a satisfaction guarantee, you know, and you'd be surprised, like when folks know what the offer is and they know what to expect, and you do a good job and you deliver it quickly and you get it to them and you help them install on a website and you just give them to success, they're going to be happy. Like typically, you know, that's, it's not like complicated to get somebody to success, to get them happy. You have to just work with them and get them there until they're there. That's it.
Do you help them, like, do you give them like a blueprint on how to use it? Because sometimes I feel like websites, because I've sold websites in the past, I do the website and they just leave it there, and then they have no results, and I'm like, well, you're not using it. How is this, like, how can I help them use the virtual tour properly? Yeah, you can. So here's what I would do. If I were you, I would make some Loom videos of you talking about, hey, here's how to use it. Here's some ways to use it. Here's some quick tips. So that when they have it installed, hey, do me a favor, check out this web page where I got 3 or 4 or 5 videos, and you just put a how to do this. You put a headline above the video, insert the video, how to do this, insert the video. And then you say, hey, reference this video. And it can kind of use as a support page too, because they don't have to ask all these questions. Hey, watch all these videos, super helpful. I'm going to walk you through everything. And obviously I want you to have a bunch of success, because you tell them, I want you to refer me. I want you to be a testimonial, right? That's ultimately the actual life cycle of a customer. It's not just like you're going to pay you and you deliver and you go walk away. It's actually, they have success. They give you a testimonial and they refer you, right? Those are actually the two conversions that come after that. So that's your next sale, unless they have other locations and you want to send to other locations, of course. But you tell them, like, and everyone's aware of that. You're a small business owner. They understand, like, dude, this guy wants to hustle. He's going to keep trying to make me happy until I give him a testimonial. I might as well. Can't be afraid to ask for those. I've literally asked folks, hey, are you willing to give me a selfie testimonial? I said, can you just like put the phone up, like right here, like put the thing behind you and like say, here's what I want you to say. And like, here's like a little script. Would you mind doing that? And it doesn't always happen if people get scared or whatever. No. They just don't care enough. But people that are like, you have the couple customers that are like, just love you and they're super kind. Those are the ones you want to get. You want to get a video testimonial, because that's going to go where? Well, it's going to go on the bottom third of your website, your homepage, because they're scroll down. Oh, look at all these guys who like spent the time to video themselves and talk about you, or talk about Shin. Like, this is like, okay, I believe him now. He's not, I believe the guy. And then when you have those, like, so I discussed prospecting earlier, outbound. Now you can start buying up some ads, some PPC ads, some Google ads, and they're going to be more expensive. So you have to maximize the conversion. So believability is the number one thing. And how do you get that? From your customers talking about how awesome you are. It can't be from a Fiverr video. This guy, Shin, he makes virtual tours and they are great. Okay, pay $5 or whatever. No, it has to be like, hey, it's Betsy. Here's like my location at the co-working space. Shin did a really good job. I just want you to do it for him. He did so good that I made a video for him. Isn't that cool? All right, bye. Like, I don't know what she says, whatever she says, because it's authentic, it's real. And then that, to me as a consumer, well, this is real. This guy is like now this guy who's email prospecting me and this guy is ad I clicked on, he's kind of the real deal. And if I'm in the market, like, I probably should talk to him. At least talk to him. And then you got to put your sales shoes on. You got to close. Yeah. Perfect. So, all right. Yeah, I mean, how to scale? It's like the biggest question. Yes, definitely. But you've given me a lot of clarity right now. Good.
And clarity is important. So that's like the most important thing in entrepreneurship, I think, is clarity. It's not like the next email sequence or copywriting trick or video funnel. It's just clarity about your customer. If you know what they want, it's easy to sell. It's not selling. It's just like, you just go do it. You just offer it and they want it.
Yeah.
So I think business is actually much easier than maybe the marketing community may make it seem like. You need this thing, this thing, this thing. The reality is, like, you just need to figure out what's important to them, get really clear on that, and then go give it to them. That's it. Like I this guy interviewed, he talked about how his photos were good, really good, but was actually secondarily and maybe just as important was fast turnaround, 1 day turnaround. Like, if he can give his customers in the next day, then they're gonna be so excited, and they're gonna refer him. So he
Yeah.
figured out that operational efficiency is actually just as important, or if not more important, when it came to his service. Like, and which makes sense, because some of these folks, they just want this closed on the same day. They want them done tomorrow. It's kind of like they're just a fast turnaround world. And because of that, if he could get his editors at nighttime to do it all and deliver it the next day, then, and his admin puts it and delivers it in the morning, then what would happen is he's created operational efficiency, and that's what they want. And they're gonna keep coming back over and over again. So, like, he had to ask those questions. He had to go learn that, though. He's 10 years in the business, right?
Yeah.
So I am listening to him and I go, okay, got it. Like, if I'm a software provider for his niche and I'm listening to him, what's clarity I get? Well, then my stuff I give him can't take a long time. It's gotta be fast. It's gotta be the lightning fast, right? So if I'm gonna design anything or help people, it can't be slower than what they're currently doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's, so I got clarity. So I'm getting clarity too. So I'm always seeking more clarity about whatever it is I'm looking at. You get it. You understand what I'm saying? Cool.
Yes, definitely. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. I'm ranting long enough. John A, and then Ryan go next. So John, go ahead. Like a little hands
Yeah,
up.
hey, real
ahead.
good stuff. I just signed up for Loom last week. Loom's a very powerful tool.
Yeah, it's great.
To your point though, Zach, I mean, and that's what I'm going to do is a video, an explainer video on how to use your virtual tour that I just produced and how to get into it. And I think your point is very valid. It needs to be short, succinct, not 18 minutes. Nobody has 18 minutes. If they see 18 minutes, they're probably not going to do it. But if you can explain real quick in 2 or 3 minutes on, hey, this is what I did for your virtual tour, and here's how to use it, how to get it out there. That's awesome. My question more so, it might be more of a YouTube question, but part of what I do with virtual tours is I embed the YouTube videos. So they'll be going through the virtual tour, and then there'll be a quick 1-minute drone flyover of the venue or whatever.
Mhm.
And on YouTube, of course, it rolls over to the next selections, whatever next in the channel. Is there a way around that? To make it just go back to a blank screen or go back to the tour?
Yeah, so there used to be, I'm not sure if it's still that way with YouTube. I've done this before with YouTube, but basically in the iframe, you can just add an append code where it says reference equals 0. You have to look it up. It's on Google probably somewhere. And that used to work. So, like, watch the video and then you put a question mark, I think reference equals 0 is like a little piece of code, just a little couple pieces of text. And it was be a blank screen at the end, which is great for certain things.
Yeah.
Also use Vimeo. Vimeo is free, I think, for a lot of things, for a certain amount. I pay for it now, but Vimeo is great for like high quality videos. There's really good. It's just no fluff. It's like, here's the play button, here's the video. It's not like YouTube links and reference. It's a pretty good tool. I like it a lot, actually. So I recommend it. And you can use iframe as well for sharing and embedding.
Beautiful. Thank you.
No problem. Ryan, go ahead. Ryan Murphy, see your little hand up, bro. You may have walked. I'm gonna ask to unmute you, see if you get that. Okay, we're gonna move on. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Ryan.
Sorry,
hey, Ryan.
I couldn't figure out how to. I couldn't
It's
figure out
okay,
how to
bro.
unmute
It's all right. I can't do it sometimes too.
my phone.
You're good.
So I was just going to reiterate what you were saying earlier about fast turnaround time. So I run a company and we shoot around 1,700 houses a year.
Great.
And obviously, one of the keys to our success is we always do next business day turnaround. So our realtors, it's like an assembly line. Once they order, they'll get an invite that it's scheduled. They know the next business day they'll have photos, and then by 5 p.m. they could go live, or whatever their timing is. So that's always crucial if you're looking into the real estate side of things, to offer that, and not don't slack and wait 3 days to turn it around. So
yeah, that's a huge thing. I've noticed that, and I heard people will ask you to come out the same day sometime. Hey, can you come out today? You know, kind of like, I know to me it's crazy, but like, because the priorities or the efficiency of that market. I mean, I'm assuming you know this, but I'm not sure where you're located right now. I'd love to know.
I'm in Oregon, Albany, Oregon.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So how many agents do you work with? This would be helpful, folks, I think.
At this point, we're around 650 agents and we're a staff of 7.
Cool. Great. Yeah. So you got to be fast, right? Because they want to go fast. And so what's important to your customer is important to you, right? So it's going to affect the operation, how you're going to run the operation, you know, and you're going to learn that right away when they're like, hey, the photos here, the next day, like asking about them, right? I'm assuming. So get it to them before they ask for it is the goal, right? So you have to have an editing team. You got to have an administrator who can handle this high volume. So that's cool. I like that. Ryan,
We have
what's your business? What's it called? I'm just write it down.
Marks and Time Photography. You can look us up at marksandtime.com.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Yeah, everyone's folks can just like look at what you're doing. That's helpful for them. So cool. That's great. Any questions or about anything you want to just, while I'm here?
I did in all transparency, CloudPano isn't something that we sell a lot of. I have one builder who uses it a lot. And so I guess part of it's just time on my part, marketing, we're already so busy doing so many things.
Sure.
But I am curious. I heard you guys talking about 360 video, and that's news to me. How does that incorporate into a CloudPano? Is it an actual video file, or?
Yeah.
Is there an example I could look at?
Yeah, I can send you one. Just ping me or ping my email. I have one of this Clash of Clans video. It's like this funny 3D video. But yeah, people use it as intros a lot. Bob, I'm gonna mute you, bro. Sorry about that. It depends on it's all commercial work, stuff like that. Now, there's a limitation in that we don't accept massive files and videos.
Right, and I totally understand that.
So think about it more of like hey, welcome to the virtual tour. My name is Ryan, or welcome to our dentist office. We'd love to have you. Please click these hot spots to navigate or the info spots to get more information. And of course, call us today if you need your appointment, whatever. So like a quick intro kind of thing. It's commonly used. It's great. So we have 360 video. It's just another media file. So you just upload it and it's just wherever you want to put it. Same as you would with the images. You can organize it in the thumbnail ring, etc. You have to be the first one. You have to be somewhere deep into your virtual tour as well. We've literally seen power line training using video. Like guys are putting the video in this thing at list, whatever it's called, it picks you up in the air, and they use that video in the virtual tour to train their employees about power line training. So it's kind of cool. Now the resolution, it's not perfect resolution. It's not. You have to kind of play with it and get some expectations before I would say you really go out and sell it. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool for certain applications for sure. So that's video. We also have use still images. You can obviously add those in there as well. And we have now as well spins. You can add spins into your experience. So I'll just go kind of play around with different media types, and you'll see those on the CloudPano. Also, too, quick announcement. I haven't announced it yet, but 3D Dollhouse. We dropped the price to individual dolls to $35 a floor. And we're looking actually to decrease it even more. So if you guys can output a bunch of volume for us, that would essentially mean we're going to lower prices per floor for Dollhouse. So if you are using a bunch of Matterport and you don't want to, or you want to try out the Dollhouse feature, we're lowering the price. So that's super helpful for everyone. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. I'm trying to get it even lower based on this volume. But yeah, so it's good. That's just helpful to know.
Where do you request the 3D Dollhouse?
It's in the floor plans tab.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we essentially take the virtual tour and we manually create the 3D Dollhouse experience. So that's how it works. I think it's about a day or so. Okay.
Is there any measurements or any particular way to capture a place to do that?
For measurements or?
Well, I'm just saying, is there any, is there a special, is there something you have to keep in mind to make the 3D, to make it buildable?
Yeah.
You know, I'm guessing you got to be careful when you're doing your scans.
Yeah, so it's different in Matterport. So Matterport, you have to take like every 3 feet. They're trying to get those laser measurements right. They're trying to like have it be kind of AI automatic. For us, it's manual. So you can do one photo a room, like this office room right here. You can just do one photo. We want the next one, one photo each room, like you would typically for a store anyways. And we'll output it basically. If there's any notes or anything, like if there's a missing closet or whatever you want to like show that, we can do that. But it's the same virtual tour experience. So if you're already making a 360 for someone and they want a Dollhouse, you can just like click a button and boom, we'll make it for you from that virtual tour. So we take that model, we overlay the texture, it's called texture of the image onto that model. That's how it works. So it's similar.
Okay. I might order a couple just to
Yeah.
see what they're like.
Give it a whirl.
Yeah.
And we are looking, like it's going to sound weird for business owners, but we are looking to lower the price even more. So like if you do, if you're like, hey Zach, I can do 100 a month or whatever, like we'll hook you up with a deal. We're trying to increase that volume, and we're also working on that with that part of my team who's like getting more efficient. So we want to increase the number of people and resources that are working on that. So basically, what I want to do is undercut Matterport. That's what I want to do, and I want to be in that pre-built. I want to be in that pre-built offering. So Ryan mentioned before, he does 1,600 listings a year. They probably come to his website. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. Tell me if I'm wrong. They look at the offerings, they select it, they buy it, they schedule it, right? They probably don't talk to a salesperson too much. Am I right?
You're correct. I mean,
Okay.
I've got some people who like to call and order, but
Sure.
I'd say about 70% of my sales is just at this point, which is great because, I've got, people who can look at my booking page for ideas if you want, but, we try to get as much information as possible so we can literally book it without having to recontact them, right? So like, we don't need the name of the homeowner. We don't need how we're getting in. We don't need, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know exactly what we're doing. And so with this Dollhouse thing, I mean, it's not on there yet, but I do have people ask for it. So, I mean, it's something that I would definitely add to my website as far as something they could order.
Cool. We call that self-serve. So like they'd come and they just select what they want, they pay the money, they schedule it all up front, like no salesperson. That's pretty cool. The idea, so our idea, we want to get more towards like being a part of those packages you already self-serve offer. So it's just turnkey, right? We want to be a part of the operation. That's like one of our goals. It's a newer goal. So like, that's why I want to lower the price of Dollhouse the most I can. So if I can increase the volume, then I can lower the price even more. So that's my goal. That's just how everything works, right? The more volume I can do, the more I can lower the price. So our goal, so Ryan he may experiment, order a couple Dollhouses, he might like it, he might hate it, whatever, but I think he's gonna like it. And then he'll decide, okay, well, do I want to add this as one of my service offerings in that self-serve environment? My hope is the answer is yes, because we want to be a part of that. So folks can just like upgrade, right? And it's same thing with us. Like he's just upgrading. It's just simple, Cool. Thanks for that information, Ryan. It was super helpful. Larry, you're next, brother. Take us away.
Yeah, on the actual tours itself, when you list the settings for the actual website, is there a way for it to display as of like a www versus the HTTP format, if you understand what I'm saying?
Instead of a C name, which is like tours.your
Yeah, because it doesn't work if you just put www dot and the link. You have to actually put the full URL, and that's what's displayed. So sometimes some of the tour links are very long, and it just kind of looks odd up there on the corner.
Yeah, in the corner.
Because when you have your settings,
you mean in the info? Yes. You're referring to. Oh, okay. So you're asking. Okay. Sorry.
The display of the URL, the actual display name should just be like the www dot link name.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it only works if you put the HTTP long URL address. And
Gotcha.
that's the only thing that's showing. So if you could put a display name versus the actual link, it would help out on the full display.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, it'd be great, Larry, if you just like email me, ping me an example so I can show it to my team.
Sure.
And then in the interim, my thought is, maybe the hacky way, maybe the hack it is to
Yeah.
use a link shortener, right? Just like, hey, click here, and then it's a short
Yeah,
link.
I know it's pretty
Yeah.
easy because you do it on all sorts of like Word documents, stuff like that. Okay, so that's one. And then two is, and this is for everybody, if anybody can throw it in the chat, but I'm just always looking for better, efficient ways to edit my 360 photos. I'm kind of shopping around through Fiverr or whatever that program is, and I'm getting like, people to do, I'm sending demos and they're coming back, but I don't think some of them are doing Lightroom or whatever that program is, but some of them actually have the cool feature with Adobe, and they're doing a really good job with utilizing the different type of exposures that I'm sending them. So I'm just trying to use it because I'm not going to do it myself. It's too much time for me to do it.
Yeah, editors, bro. Like, you just get you an editor, figure out what they cost, $1 photo, $2 photo, whatever it is. There's a lot out
Yeah.
there. I would
So
just
anyway,
kind of,
I'm
you could
focusing on that right now.
you could ping Facebook groups as well. They'll hit you, they'll hammer you, probably direct message you. So
Yeah.
they're out there.
Anyways, that's where I'm at. Other than that, everything's going great. And I'm getting some property management companies.
Nice.
Yeah, and I worked backwards. I went to the client first, and we'll talk to my property manager, and of course they manage like 50 properties, and so now they're interested. So I'm actually doing a presentation for them.
Nice. I love the property management niche.
Right.
You can charge hosting fees, higher ticket. It's commercial work. It's going to be used, and hopefully in perpetuity. Annual license kind of thing. It's not just a quick turnaround and it's gone a few months later. It's like, it's there. They're going to keep using it. They're going to keep paying you. Yeah. So
Exactly.
if anybody wants to target those, I love that. We got a really cool integration coming in that niche, but we can't announce it just yet. So I'm going to ask for permission as soon as I can. I'm going to make a press release. But you can probably keep in mind. I'm going to mute you there, Ryan, because you're typing something. Cool. All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Zach.
No problem. Adil, go ahead, sir. See if you can find the unmute button on the iPhone.
Yeah, I found it.
All right, cool.
So yeah, I'm calling from Holland, in the Netherlands.
Nice.
Done my actually, and there's some want, but in terms of like, I've got some friends of mine who are into the car selling business. So they've got like companies that sell cars. Some of them have got like 100 cars, 105 cars, like just around those numbers. And I've proposed to them what the services that I can offer. But I had some questions in regards to the CloudPano auto reseller program. So like, if you could explain to me how it actually works, like,
sure,
what, like how, like what is it gonna be for me? How is it gonna be for me? How is it gonna work out for me after I did the course?
Sure. So I can explain you how it works in the US and Canada and most big countries. I don't know how about Holland for sure. I mean, and we can always figure this out offline, but basically the way it works is a dealership's primary goal is to get media up so they can sell that vehicle as fast as possible, right? So how do they do that? Well, they can take photos. They also do video. They can do spins. But what they don't do at the dealership very well is they don't run a website well. They don't market necessarily that great. So how do you, if you have a lot of volume of vehicles, what do? Well, you outsource the website, right? You outsource the marketing maybe too. You might even outsource your photos and your spin creation, right? Now in the dealership world, there's basically two types. The ones that take their own photos, they pay a guy hourly. He's pretty good with his phone, pretty good with the camera. He takes photos.
Yeah.
And then that kind of customer, it's harder to be a service provider for them. So if you go pitch them, say you pitch like all your 5 buddies, 5, and like 2 of them are like, well, we got a guy who does it every day. He's like, we pay him $10 an hour, whatever. Okay. Well, you probably can't jump in and do photos and spins for him. But what you can do is say, hey, well, since you already have a guy doing photos, that's cool. Great. No worries. I'll leave you alone. Before I do, you guys want to add spins? Because I'm a reseller of this software called CloudPano Automotive. You can make exterior spins. They're interactive. They're really, really cool. And we can have a direct integration with your website where it's simple, it's easy. And basically every piece of inventory, all 100 cars can have spins on it. And that's a huge help when it comes to selling online. Are you interested?
Mhm.
And they could say, okay, maybe, yeah, sure. Okay, let's check it out. So you do a demo and you show it to them and they want to sign up. We have a special referral links and special offer links in the program. You use that link that refers back to you. They sign up. You get a referral every month if they pay and say subscribe. And we basically will go in and integrate with their website, make sure the integration works, maintain it. If it change with them, kind of run it at an enterprise type level. Now, where it gets complicated is that the third party they're outsourcing to the website, like that's typically a company. They have a lot going on. They have a lot of management, et cetera. They need certain things from us, and we need it to be approved. I mean, we had to be approved so many times in a row. It's crazy. But we always have done it. One time we haven't. Oh man, one time it didn't work out. I couldn't believe it. Anyways, but most times it's totally fine. And what happens once the integration is in place, API integration is in place, every time that customer makes a VIN number to the app, makes a spin, presses publish, it's automatically on their site via a button or a media overtake container.
Okay.
So that's how the integration works. Now, if let's go backwards. If that dealership's like, hey, I'm looking for a photographer and you can do spins, nice. We need somebody to do it. We just don't have time for it. We need somebody to take those for us. Can you come out twice a week? Can you come out once a week? We got new cars coming in. We got people over here in service. We got all kind of stuff happening. We need somebody to just do the photo, just do it. Okay. That's very common too. That's super common, right? Well, in that case, they don't care if you use CloudPano or they use somebody else. They just want it done, right? And then you can probably charge per car, for photos, and then per car for spins, and have a certain number you work out beforehand.
Yeah.
And you're going to try to do as many as you can. Okay. Well, you still need integration, but you're going to invoice them from your business. And what we do is we say, hey, bro, if you have a dealership you're bringing on, we'll work you a deal. We want you to go off and get 5 dealerships that you work with, and you have multiple employees going out there all over the place and continue to bring on rooftops. And the subscription will essentially be lower to us because you're a photographer, right? You're incentivized to bring on more rooftops, and we want you to do that without taking a big margin. Excuse me. So does that make sense? Okay, have those two types, and we work in either we can sell it. You can sell us to them directly because you have a relationship. Or you can sell to them as a service provider. We'll hang out in the background and be your spin provider.
Okay. Now it makes sense. If there's any additional questions that I possibly wanted to ask, like offline, it's more to go more in depth on the topic.
I would email Robert at cloudpano.com. He'll help you.
Oh, fair enough. Thank you very much.
And can you drop your email into the chat? Robert will email you to help you as well. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
If anyone wants Robert to talk to him, add your email to the chat, and Robert will add the email to his today list, and he'll talk to you. If you want to get Dollhouse pricing down super low, let's do it. Talk to Robert. Okay, let's get some volume rolling. All right, Robert's here to help you. That's our goal. We're here to help you. Okay, this has been great. This has been fun. Okay. Yeah. What's next? What else you guys got? There's a lot of y'all here. Don't be shy. Jump in now. What you working on? I'm here to help. If I can. I can't always help everything. All right. Well, we got silence. So I'm going to give it a few more seconds. Ian says, work on some higher listings. What's up, bro? Talk to me. Jump in. I'm asked to unmute you.
Oh, sorry, you there?
Yeah, I'm there, bro.
Yeah. Even though I just got here, I have some friends with the high-end listings that I want to immediately just start doing some 360 tours, just for them, just to get them used to it.
Yeah.
Because interestingly, hardly anybody seems to use 360 here. Like these are $20 million homes, $10 million homes. And then on the property management, and I have a friend he's based in Orange County, but he does work in LA and Orange County. And I want to go help him just do some 360s so he can show what he can do with it. Yeah. Before I start monetizing. It's easy money because the property management person is legally blind, but he's still selling real estate every day.
Well, so I love property managers. I want to just really talk about that for a second. I think it's a good niche for you, and I think it's good for niche for everybody on the call. And I'll try to explain why. And I'm not, I'm no expert. I'm just telling you from the way I see the world. We have some product manager companies that use us directly. They figured out how to use the cameras. They figured out how to use CloudPano. Obviously, the virtual tour itself, the utility of 360 virtual tours for property management for apartment complex makes sense, right? They want to see the property before they walk in there. It's just very simple process. Like, it's a visual medium. There's nothing really crazy with that. So you have to explain that. But then when you move, when you ascend into the deeper conversations, the more advanced conversations about CloudPano Live, I got some customers or some people on CloudPano who just use CloudPano Live as their ultimate like selling tool, and people love it. They freak out about CloudPano Live. Okay, it's just different. To be able to sell live in a 360 environment is very cool. It's not common, and it makes tons of sense. And because it's dang cheap for you guys to subscribe to CloudPano, you have a lot of control over what you're pricing, what you're charging, and it makes sense if you're giving recurring value to someone to charge a recurring fee, they're gonna get it. It's very clear, very simple. They don't know what you're paying. Okay, so think that way when you go off to sell a customer. Like maybe they're willing to pay $2,000, and you're trying to really negotiate that to this apartment complex. But you know what? Maybe they're willing to pay, maybe if they pay only $750, but you get the $100 a month subscription, that's $1,200 a year, right? And maybe they stay for 2, 3, 4 years. You don't even know how long they're going to stay for. But then your goal, you're actually kind of getting paid to get subscriptions. Like every time I sell one, I got a setup fee of $1,000, and I'm even, if it takes me one day, whatever, but I get a subscription now. I get one more subscription, one more sub. Think of it that way, building a book of business, because they're going to recurringly use it. If you don't sell a sub with a property manager, you're leaving money on the table. You just are. Don't do that. Okay.
So how do you do the subscription part? Like, how do you physically get paid, kind of thing?
Yeah, mechanically, you can use Stripe. So in Stripe's free, and it connects to your bank account. So you can send them an invoice. You can create a customer. Basically, I'll tell you the really quick, long and short of it is you add a customer to Stripe, which is basically add their email and their name. And then you click create a subscription. It's an action item. You create a subscription, and you have a product on there. So say your product is $100 a month, hosting and maintenance is what it's called. Or you can make a new product right there, and you click start subscription, and it will send them an invoice that they can buy right there online, and it will create a subscription. And you can also layer on itemized things. So you can just use Stripe for invoicing tool. The top could be like your setup fee. The next itemized bullet could be your subscription, and they pay once, and they have both set up at the same time. You got me?
All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, Stripe's sweet, man. It's sexy too. It looks good. You're gonna look like a pro. I'm gonna send over a Stripe invoice, so just keep that in mind.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Cool. We're winding down here for the hour. Gloria, I'll let you roll. It'll be our last question. Okay. Go ahead, Mrs. Cruz. Let's see if I can get you to work. Can you hear me? Check. I can't hear you. Let's see. I don't think you have any audio set up. Maybe it's just me. Sorry, Gloria. I don't hear anything. But I see a yellow hand. That's it. All right. Anybody else want to ask you a question before we go? One last question. Now's the time. 3, 2.
I'm trying to do the white label, and I'm having a brain fart when it comes to using that DNS, trying to make it work. I can't get it to point. Does anyone else have that problem, or can anyone explain it to make it really smooth for me?
Who's your provider for your domain?
GoDaddy.
Okay, it should be simple, bro. So you just add a record, add a CNAME record. You're going to have it say whatever you want. Tours, it could be your name. It could be VR, whatever. Doesn't matter what the record is. It has to be one name, not the whole URL. It's just a couple letters. That's going to be your CNAME record. It's going to replace the www. So it's not going to be www. It's going to replace, so like let's say tours is very common to use. Now, if you already have that CNAME record somewhere else, point somewhere else, you're going to have a problem. So check, make sure you don't have 2 of them. Only have 1. So let's say it says tours or VR, whatever. You add tours, and then you point it to app.cloudpano.com, or basically that's our server, and then it's going to work. Rest safe. You got me?
So it's app.cloudpano.com.
Yes.
And CNAME is my whatever I come up with, right?
And you could probably Google how to white label CloudPano, and it'll pop right up. There's a bunch of articles on it. I've done a couple times years ago. Still the same process. Cool, no problem. All right, great. All right, guys, thank you for your time. A couple announcements before we go, since I got your attention, or obviously thanks for your time and attention. We have lowered the price of Dollhouse on CloudPano. To order Dollhouse today, you go to 4 Pens tab, or Dollhouse, and we lowered it. And we're going to look to lower it even more. So order a bunch of them, and I'll lower it even more. Also, we did a development release last couple weeks, and it didn't go as well as we were hoping. So we actually reverted it, which is very, very uncommon. We almost never do that, but there's just too many bugs that came out with that release. So some stuff got reverted and changed back. No one even knew about it really, but we did. Some people had some pain about it in the Facebook group. Just be aware, we know we're not perfect, so we went backwards and we fixed it. It's back to the way it was. What's the last thing? Oh, I'm gonna release a podcast soon. I'm hoping gonna be putting these calls on it as well. That'd be cool. And then I still have like 5 or 6 calls that I recorded. We'll put them on the podcast. This is just anybody can listen to it. And then what else we have coming? We got some really cool things coming out I'm not allowed to share about just yet, which, you know, is a bummer, but I'm gonna go crazy whenever they come out. So a lot of good things happening. It's only gonna help you make more money, increase your income streams, crush all things in life. So that's the goal. And so just I obviously appreciate y'all, and keep it going, keep up the hustle. All right, adios.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.